Man, this is awesome.
Oh, Clark, hey. Good to see you among the living, man. Check it out. It's the latest talent mix.
Thanks, Pete.
Good to see you all among the living. Hello. Tonight we're going to watch a boy get magnet powers and mack on Lana Lang and watch Clark handle it super maturely. We're here live Sunday night at twitch.tv/Goblin Voice, but also welcome if you're listening to this in the future on your podcasting platform of choice. I'm Brian. Here as always, my pal Zach. What's up, man?
Not much. We just had like a 5-minute conversation before you hit record. You hit record, right?
I have hit record.
Before you hit record, and I should have taken that time to ask you, is my air conditioner too loud?
Nope, can't hear it.
You hear? Excellent.
StreamYard, I think, does a little work.
Excellent. I don't want season 1 status here. Good sound. I'm well. I just came from the dog park where I got my leg peed on by a dog.
Nice. Your dog? Different dog.
No, it's a different dog.
Different dog.
Yes. My dog wouldn't pee on my leg.
Was it a apologetic owner situation or a...
That was the not frustrating, the shocking part. Like, I work with animals. The dog peed on me. I laughed and looked down. And I knew which one the owner was. And the owner said, when the dog peed, the owner said, like, dog, stop, whatever the dog's name was. And then said, fuck, when it peed on me. But then nothing after that.
I constantly get very stressed out at the dog park, to where I've kind of begun saying, like, when my wife wants to bring our dog, like, I'm good. And she's a little like, no, you're right. You're good. My dog is a lot, and he's actually good at the dog park. He loves other dogs, but still, like, it's a situation out of my control. And I'm just like, oh, yeah. sorry, well, all the time.
The dog park is the Wild West, man.
Right.
It is a stressful place. I'm lucky because Feta is insanely fast. Like, I've never met a dog faster than her. So if she gets uncomfortable, she just takes the fuck off and no one can catch her. But it's like you have three kinds of people at the dog park. One is like a normal person who just doing their best with their dog. There's the other kind of person who is like super protective, helicopter, like they get mad if your dog starts sniffing their dog for too long. Get your dog out of here. And then there's the people who just let their dog do whatever the fuck they want, like pee on someone and just like no big deal. So it really is a stressful place.
Yeah, I don't like it.
If you're in charge of one of those living things, you know?
Yeah, right. Don't love it. I've started to. It turned to whenever my wife take Mikey. It started with, you go take him to the dog run. I'm just gonna go do a couple laps around the park, and now it's just gone to like, you have fun.
Yeah. Yes.
I can't do it.
No, it's very stressful. Yep.
You watch anything good this week?
No, I watched Attack of the Clones. No, look, we'll get into it someday, probably. I like the movie the minimal amount that you can and still have positive feelings about it.
Yeah, got it.
I think there's a lot about that movie to like. But it's messy, Brian.
It's Attack of the Clones. That's for damn sure.
It's the messiest of the prequels. And also the effects. They just weren't ready to be doing the things they were doing.
No.
I think he got a little obsessed with pushing the envelope and he tore it open. He pushed the envelope until it just...
It's a lot of actors green screened onto PlayStation 2 cutscenes.
Oh man. Like some of the effects in the movie are very good. I don't want to like a blanket statement. Some of them are spectacular. But especially towards the end, it gets rough. And I think they added some sequences late in the game or something. Also, he made the insane choice to have the human character stormtroopers, clone troopers, be completely CGI.
Right. And that was a mistake.
Right. Like you think, well, I guess the argument is it's all basically the same guys playing them all because it's clones.
Right.
But they have helmets on, Brian. We can't get like 5 guys who are roughly the same size and then just duplicate them.
It's right. That's what Lord of the Rings did for those massive armies. It's
Right.
still like
Yes.
30 dudes.
Sure. Right. We have to have CGI troopers in every shot, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. It's clearly CGI.
The effects in those movies are a lot rougher than the effects in the original.
Yeah, yes. Well, because it
was new ground. It was new territory.
Right. I actually think after just watching Phantom Menace, mostly those effects are spectacular for the most part.
Phantom Menace still is like very practical overall. There's a couple of like CGI characters.
Yes, a lot more of both. They're doing what I think you should do, which is utilizing all the tools.
Right.
The CGI characters like Jar Jar or Watto or whatever, they don't look so great now.
Right.
But everything else looks really good. And they shot on film. And then in clones, it's just like I'm sure there were a couple models in there at some point, but it's a lot of CGI.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like Ewan McGregor in a Pixar movie.
Oh man, that is a starkly accurate description of some of those movies.
Oh, and then I did watch something I thought was really good, and somehow I missed it when it came out back in February. But Kimi, Steven Soderbergh.
Yes, you told me about this.
Yes,
I had heard the title a handful of times, and then I didn't realize Soderbergh did it. And then once I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's gotta go to the top of the list.
Yes, with why can't I remember her name? Lisa Bonet's daughter, the actress in it.
I'm not sure. I really know nothing about her aside from it's called Kimi. And
daughter of a musician. She played Catwoman recently.
Oh,
Kravitz. Zoe Kravitz.
Yes.
Got it. Oh man, it took a minute. She's in it. She's great. It's like a wonderful 89-minute thriller, Brian.
Oh.
Starts off a little slow, not boring, but a little slow, and the last 40 minutes is just a mad dash to the finish line.
Beautiful.
Mwah.
Beautiful. I mean,
Perfect.
hey, Soderbergh knows what he's doing.
Yes.
I'm not going to say he don't miss.
B. An exact B.
Oh,
like
right.
In the best way, yes.
Right. Speaking of Star Wars and short movies, I watched Mad God.
Is that Phil Tippett?
That it's Phil Tippett. Phil Tippett is the kind of mastermind behind the special effects in a lot of the best 80s and 90s visual effect heavy movies. That's Star Wars, Jurassic Park, RoboCop, and Mad God, which you can watch on Shudder, is a movie he's been working on since about RoboCop. He's been working on it in about 10-15 minute chunks of deranged stop motion animation that has just sort of stitched together over the decades into a feature film. And it's been put out, and I'd say it's interesting.
Is there a story?
In a way, there isn't a narrative. There is certainly a vibe.
So it's like Koaniskatsi, but with claymation and deranged.
Yeah. It's I would say my wife did not enjoy it. With I didn't.
No Attack of the Clones.
No Attack of the Clones. And like I certainly, when she was like, "God, kill me," I couldn't be like, "What are you talking about?" I can't even say it made me feel anything. You know what I mean? Like it clearly meant a lot to him for him to put all that time and effort in. Like it's what mostly kept my interest is just what's the next crazy fucking thing we're gonna see? What's an insane shot that like took him
Yeah.
years in stop motion in his fucking
Yeah.
living room. I think it's interesting. I think it feels like a movie that just got left under a couch and now has a weird grease all over it.
Great.
Phil Tippett has said himself this movie put him into like a like psychiatric hospital. It's all also like inspired by his own dreams. And just to a bit, this isn't really a spoiler because you kind of can't, like I said, the movie doesn't really have like a narrative, but there's a bit where this character is like moving through this underworld, walks into this large chamber where these huge Titanic figures are sitting in electric chairs being shocked and just shitting themselves into a bottomless pit. Just wet, messy dukes.
Wonderful. Movies about dreams are the most disturbing movies.
Yep.
Which explains David Lynch's like entire.
That was the thing about Mad God. It reminded me of Eraserhead, in a big way. Eraserhead has more of a narrative than Mad God does.
I've never seen Eraserhead.
I really like it. So yeah, I don't know if I recommend Mad God, but it certainly will stick with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I mean, that's like some of the best movies. Not saying Mad God is because I haven't seen it, but some of the best movies you walk out of and you're like, ugh, I don't know how.
Right.
I don't know how I felt about that. And then 20 years later, you're still watching it. You're still talking about it, right?
Right.
So,
yeah, time will tell. But I will say it was certainly a very, very interesting watch, and it's also 82 minutes, so it's not even like it's a huge like.
Yeah.
Should we get into Smallville? Was there anything else we should go over?
What's Smallville?
The Superman TV show.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Magnetic is the episode we watched, the 7th episode in the 3rd season of Smallville, the 51st episode overall. It aired November 12th, 2003. We're, of course, reading directly from the Smallville wiki. Pull it up. Follow along.
Give that wiki more hits.
Give that wiki more hits. Let's see here. How do I get rid of okay. Lana and Chloe are enjoying a day at the Lowell County Fair when they run into a classmate, Seth Nelson, Lana's lab partner, who has a crush on her. Today, he is manning a booth at the fair where the prizes are snow globes of Smallville with bits of meteor rock in them. You go first.
I've got so many things
I know.
to say, Brian.
That two sentences might take a half hour.
Yes. Okay, so first of all, we open with a shot of a band performing live. Do you know what band it is? Did we find out what band it is?
I don't. I'm sure it's down below.
Okay, yeah. It's like some John Mayer-esque knockoff.
I was not familiar with that track.
No. I wonder if it's like a whatever the fuck that band was called.
Von Ray.
Yes, Von Ray. I wonder if it's that kind of situation they're trying to promote.
Right.
An up and coming band. Okay. We open with Lana and Chloe looking at a snow globe, which seems to recreate the meteor shower around Smallville, right? It's just green rocks.
Right.
And they get about 3 seconds into the conversation before they start talking about Clark.
Right.
It is a Bechtel fail.
It's Chloe basically, in no uncertain terms, it's like, you just made us fail the Bechdel test.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, she even brings it up. She's like, we almost got through this day without one of us talking about Clark. Previously on Lana and Chloe Talk About Clark. It's just... I mean, how many scenes have they had together where they don't talk about Clark?
I would not be surprised if it was a fat zero.
Yeah, it's...
right? I'm not saying it is, but I wouldn't be shocked.
Exactly. If it's not, it's less than 5, right?
Right.
Way less than 5.
Right.
It's yes. Anyway, don't they make a GameCube reference in this opening?
It's Lana. Okay. moving here. Chloe suggests that Lana gives Seth a chance. So Chloe's like, hey, this kid's cute. Maybe see what's up with that. And I believe Lana says, from memory, he's into cars, something, and GameCube. Comics, cars, and GameCubes. What do we have in common?
Yes. GameCubes. I like that she is apparently 60 years old and doesn't know that you don't pluralize the console title.
GameCube,
not GameCubes. Brian, did you ever play the GameCube?
I had a GameCube.
My stepbrother had one, so I played a lot of it. Yeah.
I remember there being a sale that like they were giving them out for like $100, and like that was just enough like teenage money that I had acquired. I
did the same thing, but with the Dreamcast. Sega Dreamcast.
Pal.
Brian, let me tell you something. It was dope until it broke.
I have heard it was a very good console.
It was, and
it
then
just
broke.
It just wasn't supported, and like, is it?
Yeah, yes, but it was dope. GameCube had discs, didn't it?
It had little discs.
That was the first and last time Nintendo fucked with discs, wasn't it?
The Wii would.
Oh, that's right. But they weren't tiny discs.
Right. The Wii and Wii U would go back to kind of regular CDs. And then by the time the Wii U came out, it was you can kind of download games, which is what I've been doing for years now. What was good on the GameCube? I didn't have a lot of GameCube games.
I mean, if you have a Nintendo console, it's all the Nintendo only stuff. Right.
It's
all the Mario. Pretty much Mario doing anything. Mario Kart, Mario Golf, Mario, make dinner, whatever the fucking game is. It's going to be good. If Mario's name's attached, it's going to be fun.
They should make Mario make dinner.
Mario make dinner.
I'm sure it'd be great.
Wait, that sounds great. That would actually be fantastic. But it would have to be Italian food, right?
I guess so.
Have you heard of this controversy in quotations because Chris Pratt is going to voice Mario in the new Mario movie, and like he's not Italian. Like,
so here's the thing. My wife wrote the headline that gets that I believe is the center of that controversy, which, keep in mind, wrote as a joke, wrote it on the couch, pointed at it, and I went, do it.
Oh, no.
I'm not saying there aren't multiple headlines of that, but my wife wrote a big one for a big website.
So your wife owes Chris Pratt an apology, essentially.
No, she does not.
Look,
he has so much more money than we do. He's fine.
Yes, that's true. I just want to say, as an Italian myself, it's silly that we're upset that we're not getting a real Italian to play a Japanese stereotype of an Italian. Like, it's okay. It's going to be fun.
I think that is the overall general consensus. I think the way the internet works now is a joke comes up.
Yeah. What's a joke, Brian?
And then it turns into like, the libs are mad about this now.
Yes, I think that's definitely part of it. I'm sure there are some people upset, but
I mean, yeah, you could find somebody upset about anything.
Pretend upset. And look, I'm sure it has to do with all of his other stuff, that whatever church stuff that people are upset about, and then they're just like, yeah, fuck him. Can't be Mario.
It is a little like the least inspired choice. Who's big right now? Chris Pratt. I guess he's Mario now.
Like, who else are they gonna get? Who else? Like Daniel Day-Lewis? Like,
yeah, I don't know who would be a good Mario.
Al Pacino.
That, I mean, yes, I do want that.
It's me. Yeah, Mario. Yeah. Where's Luigi?
Oh yeah, Mario time.
Yeah. Need to get one of those feathers.
Oh, fuck. Now I want Pacino and De Niro as Mario and Luigi.
Luigi and Mario. Wait, that's brilliant.
They should do it.
Pacino and De Niro.
Pesci Bowser? Come on.
Joe Pesci. Come on, Mario. What the fuck, Mario?
Actually, or it's Joe Pesci like Little Mario, and then he becomes Pacino.
Oh my God, yeah. Who's Toad?
Toadstool. Well, Toad or Toadstool? Toadstool was the name for Princess Peach. Toad is the mushroom.
Oh no, Toad is whoever the mushroom is.
Toad.
Toad.
Let's see who. I believe is Charlie Day playing Toad currently, but who would be a good?
Oh gosh,
Joe Pesci would be Toad though.
Joe. Mario. Oh my gosh, we need to make this. We need to make a trailer, audio trailer for Pacino, De Niro, Pesci in.
This is Hollywood. Hire us to cast a Mario movie. We'll just throw Italian names at the wall, and it'll be great.
But like Princess Peach is an Italian. She's clearly she's like Hitler's super race. I mean, she's like blonde hair.
Yes, that's fair. Yeah.
Blue eyes.
Wow.
Who would play her? What's
probably
Scarjo?
Whoever is.
Well, it doesn't work. What's that?
Probably whoever they cast is probably fine.
Oh shit! What? Why are we talking about Mario? Oh, GameCube.
I told you, man. Two sentences. It's going to take a half hour to get through.
We will not. You will not get this on Talkville. You won't get it on Talkville.
I don't even believe they're going to put it. An episode will allegedly come out Wednesday, the 13th. I'll believe it when I see it.
Ooh, because I was going to say we should call them and taunt them about not having episodes yet.
By the time this podcast version comes out, they will have an episode out. But
I was going to do a Jurassic Park Jeff Goldblum. Eventually, you might have recaps on this recap podcast. Michael Rosenbaum?
I guess they could argue. They could arguably say the same about ours. We just had 10 minutes about the hypothetical casting of Mario.
They would shoot back like, who starts their podcast in the middle of season 3?
We do, bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lana misses at the game, and Seth tries to give her a prize anyway, but another patron is offended and starts a fight. So so they're at this carnival game, and Seth says to Lana, like, hey, these games are rigged. Just get it close enough, I'll get you a prize. So he goes to hand Lana a prize, and this big, like, biker dude, if I remember correctly, is like,
super Canadian. Yeah. Super Canadian dude, by the way.
Just like, hey. And then I believe, like, tries to fight this skinny kid and is mad at a teen girl over, I cannot stress enough, a snow globe.
Right. Also, so this guy, Seth, he is running the carnival game, and he has a crush on Lana, so he gives her this prize that she didn't earn, which is a snow globe. The snow globe is, again, of the meteor shower
right
on Smallville. Interesting move, giving the girl you like a snow globe, recreating the tragedy her parents died in.
I didn't even fucking think of that.
And she goes, you can see her being like, I'm good. But then the douchebag pops up and is like, ooh.
What a move, pal.
Yeah, like, he knows. She was on the cover of Time magazine.
Right,
he knows. Seth runs away from the fight, but the other patron finds him and bashes him over the head with a snow globe, which is felony assault. Those things are heavy. No, this guy escaped from prison or something. He's insane. Also, though, the guy does not look like he'd be difficult to outrun. So I don't know
also
how
true.
This young, healthy kid could not outrun this guy.
This snow globe wielding maniac. So this guy bashes Seth over the head with snow globe. He has quite a gash on his forehead, and tiny bits of meteor rock enter his bloodstream. We got a real classic season 1 Freak of the Week situation here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All
that's missing is Smallville Medical Center.
At that, funny you mentioned that. At the hospital, he's receiving an MRI when the magnetic field reacts badly to the kryptonite in his blood. The machine shorts and shocks Seth. Lana rushes to his side. When he touches her hand, there are tiny green sparks, and Lana suddenly finds Seth attractive. Oh no, it's in a loop. I accidentally had it on the loop setting.
So, have you ever gotten an MRI, Brian?
I've gotten an X-ray in a big thing. I don't know if that's what that is.
I have too. I don't remember the room being pitch black.
We've talked about the light. In fact, I think it's insensitive to keep bringing up the light bulb shortage that Smallville continues to suffer through to this day.
Also, look, I don't work in a hospital, so I don't know. But when he's in the machine and it shorts out, one of the doctors runs over to try to turn it off and gets like shocked away from it. And then looks like an orderly runs in. And he runs over to the wall and unplugs it. It's like one plug into the wall. He unplugs the MRI machine, and it shuts down. Is that how an MRI machine works? Is it just plugged in?
Possibly be.
There wasn't even like a power strip. It was just like right into the fucking wall.
Do we Google that right now? Do we find out?
Smallville Medical, though. It's like they just plug it right into the wall like that. No big deal.
MRI machine plug. I'm looking at it. No, it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense.
It's not like one cord going out like in the middle of the open in the room.
It's not like unplugging a GameCube. Like my brother did, ruining my Resident Evil 4 save by accident at some point.
Oh no. That's brutal.
It's fine, but it really sucks.
You're not still bitter.
No, it's fine. Okay, Lana finds Seth attractive. The next day, Seth realizes he can control metal objects without touching them. Clark and Lana visit Seth together, and Seth asks Lana on a date. She's reluctant at first, but when he touches her hand, she agrees. Clark tells Lana... Lot of touching.
So he got the hang of his powers real quick, Brian.
Yeah, not a figuring it out scene. Just he's
in the hospital and he's like, "Oh, I can control forks and stuff. Control metal. Maybe I can get this person to do what I want."
Do you think that's on purpose?
What do you mean?
Do you think like maybe he just touched her hand and then like do you think he knows exactly how that power works? Like it was intentional of like I will touch your hand and you will want to go on a date.
Oh, maybe not yet. Maybe you're right. Maybe
I don't know if evidence to the contrary comes up at any point. But...
He did it earlier already once, right? When he first got out of the MRI machine.
Right.
He just catches on quick, maybe.
Yeah. She's reluctant at first, but when he touches her hand, she agrees. Clark tells Lana he's fine with it, but confides in his parents, and he's a little jealous.
Great little Johnny K scene there. The wiki's not doing it justice, but what Johnny K is like, now, son, you made a tough decision. But if you're not going to date Lana, Lana's free to date anyone she wants. Like, just a really good fatherly moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, you fucked off to Metropolis.
Yeah, exactly. Well, first he goes, Clark tells him the problem, and he goes, jealousy, that's a tough emotion. And Clark's like, I'm not jealous!
I'm not, Dad!
Yeah, and then he goes, okay, maybe I'm a little jealous.
Officer Mason is investigating the murder of Lionel's parents. He tells Lex that Chloe Sullivan is also investigating Lionel Luthor and goes to the Torch to ask her why. Chloe refuses to discuss it with him, and he warns her that she is in over her head with Lionel, once again a fully adult man walking into a high school to harass a student in the newspaper office.
Harassment aside, really good scene.
Good scene. Great scene.
Rosenbaum and Allison Mack both bring it.
Yes.
And this storyline is gonna only get better. I had a question for you. It's a rules question.
Hit me.
Does Allison Mack's past in real life prohibit her from winning Smallville MVP one day?
Ooh.
If she did, would that be like when they gave Roman Polanski an Oscar?
A
Or
very important question. We can't get an answer tonight. We may have to bring this up to a full council discussion.
The
state of Arizona says in chat, harassment aside, Smallville's catchphrase.
Yes, that's great. I mean, I could describe this episode. Yeah, I don't know if she will. I mean, I think there's a couple seasons where she's going to be in the running, because she is, other than Tom Welling, I think she's probably the longest tenured person on the show.
Right.
She went 9 out of 10.
Right. Is she not in 10?
She is in 10, I think, in the beginning and in the end, but she was not a regular in 10.
Got it. She's definitely in the finale. I remember her in the finale.
She had other stuff going on, Brian.
Tell you what, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. If it comes up, and we may need to bring Emily in to decide, because I'm not sure whether she is disqualified from our fictional prize.
Excellent. Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, award shows are about politics,
That's true. Okay, Clark goes to the Talon to tell Lana the truth, and she admits that she's not attracted to Seth. When Seth comes to pick her up, she tells him that she can't go out with him. But when he touches her, she suddenly changes her mind. There is a scene the wiki just skipped right over where Clark and Lana are talking, and Lana admits sort of like, I guess I said yes to make you jealous, which, like, you guys can just smooch.
I know.
Like, when a girl tells you that, it's just on, though, actually.
But Brian, he knows she likes him at this point, and she knows he likes her, but he made a tough decision to protect her, even though she's probably in more danger not knowing his secret.
Draz says in chat, in all caps, and I agree, you can just date!
Yes.
You can just smooch. You're in high school. You can just smooch sometimes.
I mean, we're really in the wheel spinning phase of this romance.
Yes, definitely.
Real wheel spinning. The relief slash happiness, or maybe just gloating is the right word, on Tom Welling's face when Lana says that there aren't any sparks with Seth is hilarious.
Yes.
I urge you to watch it or go back and watch it. It's like, oh. We should have a segment where I do audio interpretations of Tom Welling's face in every episode.
Yeah, can you give us that performance again?
Yes.
Wait,
okay,
one moment. I'm gonna
go to a black screen.
One moment.
Okay. You have to lead me in with Lana.
What?
There aren't any sparks with Seth.
There aren't any sparks with Seth.
Like it's like a real, like, I got it.
Good. Okay, so Seth touches Lana. Lana's back into it, back on board. Seth takes Lana to the fair. It's closed, but he uses his power to open the gate. Lana is amazed, but not scared. Yes, Zach. Question.
I was wondering at this point, like, is she under his influence when she arrives at the abandoned fairgrounds at night? And if not a great decision.
Not a great decision. Yeah, unclear. Unclear.
And then this is the scene where I first realized this is supposed to be like mid-November.
Right.
What kind of county fair happens in mid-November, Brian?
Couldn't
That's
tell
not a
you.
thing,
That's
is
not a
it?
thing.
In Smallville, Vancouver, Kansas, it is.
What are even the temperatures in Kansas in November?
Oh god. I can tell you the temperatures in Vancouver are like 50.
Okay, so they usually fall between 77 and 36 degrees.
Great. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
So November weather.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lana is amazed but not scared. They ride the Ferris wheel together. Clark has followed them, and when he hears Lana laughing, he thinks she's screaming and pulls the Ferris wheel to a stop. Lana and Seth are annoyed that he is stalking them. The Wikipedia puts this in quotes, puts stalking in quotes. And I don't know if I agree with that use of quotations.
Well, well, she says it's important because she says, "Clark, are you stalking me?"
Yes.
And I thought simultaneously, like it's way late in the game to be making that accusation. Like,
Yeah, dude had a telescope pointed right at your
yeah,
room, man.
exactly, yeah. And then I also felt like, how many times does this guy got to save you from creepers before? Like, he's literally turning you away. He's saying, "I don't want to date you," and you can't be like, "Well, maybe he's stalking me also." That's like a weird.
You know what? Also, like, you mentioned, how many times of like he saved your ass. Like, maybe he's right. Maybe he's onto something. Unless there are hundreds of adventures in between episodes where Clark is just wrong.
He's constantly like just wrong. I love that.
She's crossing the street and Clark's like, "No!" stopping a car that's not there. Had plenty of time.
So, also the kid's the scar is gone already. Is that supposed to be part of his powers?
Unclear. I also noticed that. Unclear. I'm gonna say they play fast and loose with the powers in this one.
How many, honestly, conservative estimate this far, how many creepers have creeped on Lana in this show just so that Clark can save her?
Many.
Between 5 and 10 at least,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I would say that's accurate.
I mean, if you bring Chloe in, we're over 10. Like, if you just like
right.
Creepers, how many creepers have creeped on females in this show so Clark can stop them?
State Arizona says in chat, all.
Yes. It's it's quite a crutch they lean on in this show. How many creepers per capita does Smallville have?
Is Smallville the too many creepers?
Smallville is the budding serial killer capital of the world. Psychopaths in training.
The next day at school, Clark approaches Seth and tells him that he thinks Seth is controlling Lana. He warns him to stay away from her, but Seth is not intimidated. Clark enlists Chloe to help him look up Seth's medical records for clues about how Seth is controlling Lana. Chloe gives him a hard time about being unable to accept the fact that Lana might just actually like Seth. The medical records reveal that Seth's electromagnetic activity is higher since the accident. When a doctor enters the file room, Chloe covers for them by pushing Clark up against the cabinets and kissing him, explaining that they were just taking a break from candy striping. Good scene, good kiss. I liked it. That's the good shit, man.
Yes, that's fun. It's fun. But also, one of my least favorite TV movie tropes is the kissing someone to fool the person who walks into the room. Like, does that ever work? Like, do you need to kiss them? Couldn't you just be like, oh, we were making out? You don't actually have to.
But here's the thing: Chloe wants to smooch Clark, though, right?
That's true.
Chloe
yes.
wants to. Chloe saw an opportunity for some smooching.
I really love. Okay, when Clark confronts Seth about manipulating Lana, Seth defends himself by saying the following line, which I have in quotes: "I'm just a persuasive guy, and Lana's on the rebound." Not a great defense,
No.
Seth.
Nope.
Just for the listeners, if you ever find yourself persuading someone to like you, take a step back. It's like if you really, what you want in life is someone you don't have to persuade to like you. And if you can't find that, it's time to look in here. It's time to look inward.
To the more you know. Just rainbow.
Yes. I'm just a persuasive guy and she's on the rebound. Oh, okay.
Chill.
Cool. Happy manipulating, friend.
Real fast in chat, the state says, Chloe, don't worry. I don't think a Smallville medical doctor cares that you were snooping in records. In fact, the doctor is mad that they were making out, but in fact, she was like, "Oh, I'm just looking through these confidential files." Oh, by all means.
Yeah, Chloe's like, "Hey, can you help me read them? They're written in crayon for some reason."
Did you write these in crayon in the dark?
This one's just a drawing of an X-ray machine.
Lana is waiting for Clark in his barn and tells him that she heard he told Seth to stay away from her. Clark tries to convince her that Seth is dangerous, but she refuses to listen. She makes it clear to him that who she dates is none of his business. Later, Seth convinces Lana that they should leave Smallville forever, and she agrees to get some money. Lex happens to be right there conveniently, seeing her opening up the drawer in the business that she runs. I was like, hey! Immediately just jumps to shenaniganery.
Well, he was right, wasn't he?
He was correct.
I like that this kid is not the brightest. He has the ability to get anyone to do anything he wants. So he has Lana steal from the Talon. Like, can you take money from your work? Like, set your sights higher, bud.
Yeah, right? Lex catches her taking the money from the register at the Talon. He tries to talk some sense into her, but she doesn't listen to him either. She rides off with Seth in a brand new yellow Mustang. Do we know how he got the Mustang?
I think he left and then manipulated something. They didn't show it, but I assume he did that. So the scene begins with them kind of hanging out, really close, like, and he is now wearing a leather jacket because he went from nerd to douchebag. Of course. You got to get a leather jacket.
Of course.
You got to get a leather
Clark
jacket.
taught us that.
Yes.
Lex tells Clark about her uncharacteristic behavior and calls the sheriff. Clark super speeds up the road and uses his heat vision to melt the asphalt. They drive into the tar and get stuck.
Go ahead. You first.
Seth jumps onto a passing milk truck just as the sheriff catches up to arrest Lana, and this effect is fucking phenomenal. So it's them in the car. The truck passes. I believe we just cut to Lana's face. We don't get like a stunt or a special effect. We cut to Lana's face, then we cut to another wide, and we see the milk truck and fucking Magnet Boy just stuck behind it.
Yeah, stuck on the back. And then it cuts to a close-up of like clearly shot in a parking lot somewhere. It's just like aiming upward of him, the kid, like looking down and holding on to the So it's like clearly a stunt double and then a close up of just him like.
Draz says he gets a boner and melts the asphalt. Yes, that is what Clark did.
Brian,
Yes.
is that a car crash? They are stuck in the asphalt. They are stuck in tar. This car is not going to be drivable. They're going to have to get equipment out there to get this fucking car. They're going to have to take the wheels off. They can't drive this thing home.
Count it.
We don't even need to go to Emily on that one?
No. I think we'll call that one. We'll take that one.
Uh-oh. Chad is disagreeing with us. I don't want... Well, we use the term car crash broadly. It's car destruction is what we say. The rule is the car drivable from that point? Would you be able to drive this car
And
away?
that's generally been our guiding principle. That's what prevents a windshield breaking from counting.
Right. Yes. Unless it breaks to the point where you wouldn't be allowed to drive that car. You wouldn't be able to drive that car.
Right. It's a very nuanced conversation.
It is, yes.
They're not experts. We are.
But it is, yes. If it's a car wreck, that's fine. That counts.
Yeah.
Maybe we should say car wrecks instead of car crash. Because the car is wrecked.
Not a car stunt either. I'll say that.
No
stunt.
Well, but it's only fair because we've had some car stunts that weren't wrecks.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
We didn't get to count those.
All right.
So,
all right. I'm just going to read on to the next bit.
Someone has to have these important conversations.
You think Welling and fucking Rosenbaum are going to be having these? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Brian, if they start keeping track of car crashes, we're going to have some kind of a lawsuit on our hands.
You know what? Because we are definitely the first people to do it. First people to notice it. First people to do it. Like, it's ours. Don't touch it.
We've had a joking rivalry with them, but it's going to become a serious thing if they start keeping track of fucking car crashes.
Not okay.
I'm telling you right now. I know you're listening, Michael Rosenbaum. Big fan. Again, don't fucking touch the car crashes. That's ours.
Or concussions. They're probably going to talk about concussion.
I hope they do because I want some explanations about that.
So, Chloe arrives late at the Torch to find the office has been ransacked. Officer Mason is there, but she doesn't call the police because she would have to explain why she might be interested in her research. He takes her computer. What's that?
Sorry, I was just going to say I appreciate Arizona's support in the chat. I agree.
Okay, he takes her computer and leaves. She goes to the mansion and accuses Lex, but Lex denies involvement. He takes Chloe to the morgue to show her that Mason has died of natural causes. Lex thinks his father did it, and he offers her his protection. She refuses.
Do you think if you wanted to take a 16-year-old to see a non-relative in the morgue, you could do that?
Do I think Lex Luthor could?
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Clark visits Lana in jail. She apologizes to Clark and says that she believes him now about Seth. She lies and says that Seth was headed to Granville. When Clark leaves, Seth arrives and breaks Lana out. He takes a guard's gun.
So when she's talking to Clark, one of them says that that Lex's lawyers are working on the charges to get Lana out. What charges? All she's done at this point is steal from the Talon, which Lex owns.
Right.
Why does he need his lawyer to work on the charges? Can't he just not press charges?
Right. Like, especially, like, it could be as simple as, like, just a misunderstanding.
Right. She was riding in a stolen car, but they mention in that scene the sheriff knows that she didn't steal the car. So again, what charges did she resist arrest after they cut away?
That must have been it.
Like she said "fucking pigs" and was spitting on him and shit.
um, man, this episode's a mess. Okay, Clark.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Before we move on, there are several concussions when he breaks out of jail. I don't know how many. So here's how the scene goes. It's you see Lana and she starts reacting because we hear noises. It sounded to me like 3 distinctive bodies falling. Like a struggle and 3 bodies falling. And then it cuts to what she's seeing, and it's 1 cop unconscious on the floor. So that's for sure 1 concussion. And then as they're getting out, he knocks out another cop. So we got 2 for sure. 2, we heard bodies drop. We can't. He could be killing. Like something else could be happening, though, right?
I think there's too much room there for us to assume. Unfortunately,
it's just because they didn't have enough to pay fucking 3 actors, so
right?
They just put sounds of. Okay, two more concussions.
I do want to throw out there. The state of Arizona says, "Hell, as far as we know, she was just grabbing her tips. She's the manager. She cannot be tipped."
Well, we don't know what the law's like in Smallville.
I guess that's fair. Clark,
but she could have been making a cash draw. Who knows?
Who knows?
So many things you could be doing with the money.
She happens to be she did happen to be stealing it to run away with a magnet boy, but but you can't prove that. Clark arrives home and tells his mother that Lana lied to him. Pete appears and tells them that Seth and Lana are on the run. I honestly completely missed Pete in this episode. Blink and you miss it.
This is Pete's saddest appearance of the show, I think. Clark has a scene with his mom. Pete comes in out of breath. And he says, Seth pulled a Bonnie and Clyde and broke Lana out of jail. And then has like one more little line. That's it.
Is Pete already like gone? Are they already like...
I mean, they already know he's not long for the show, probably. I mean...
They can't, right?
Like, was this guy hard to deal with or something? I mean, he's got... There's other stuff they could have thrown his way in this episode, you know?
Right.
They literally have him run on, say 2 lines, and then he's done.
We have talked about of like there's not a lot for this character to do. There aren't a lot of problems that come up in episodes that like need basically, we've talked about it before, but ultimately Chloe will serve the role that both of them had, you know?
Right, yeah.
Chloe could do both jobs.
Yeah. I think they were hoping that Pete would end up being a better character than he was.
Right.
And then they were like, oh, we don't really have much to say with Pete. Also, there's no like sexual tension with Pete.
Right. And it's ultimately I stand by this. Smallville in so many ways is a Buffy knockoff. And like they just kind of there were 2 friends in Buffy, so we'll give Clark 2 friends. And we maybe don't need 2 friends.
Also, when Clark is talking to his mom, she says that Lana was not herself.
Amazing.
Dude, we are at 5 not yourself in this season already.
Wow. That's not quite 1 per episode, but close.
Yeah. Making a comeback.
Clark uses a compass to find them at the carnival again. Boo!
Clark, you have super speed. Can't you just go check the places you know they've been before real quick?
They are planning to slip out of Smallville on one of the trucks that will take the carnival rides out of town tomorrow. Clark grabs Seth and throws him across the room. Lana grabs his gun and threatens to shoot Clark. Seth takes the gun and sends Lana outside. He shoots Clark and learns that Clark has special powers too.
Another scene where Clark forgets that he has super speed. Right. This guy shoots at him and he dives like regular human behind something to try to get out of the way and gets shot. like the whole thing could have been averted if he was just like,
Right.
and then it's done.
It's like, oh, you missed. Seth picks up a coaster car and hurls it at Clark, pinning him against the wall. Clark grabs an electrical line and electrifies the coaster car. Seth is pulled off his feet, attracted to the car. When he makes contact, he receives a shock that puts him in a coma. Lana receives community service for her crimes. She is genuinely sorry for her behavior, and she asks Lex for her job back. He agrees without hesitation, saying he did much worse things at her age.
He also ends the scene by saying to her, the 16-year-old, is that what we're saying they are, 16?
I believe so, yes. Whom he will marry.
She says, I'm sure the right guy's out there for her. I think it's a little creepy.
A little creepy. Pretty yikes.
Like in season 1, he would have been referring to Clark, because these people who are fans don't know, because they never seen season 1, that Lex spent most of that season trying to break Lana and Whitney up so that she would be with Clark. Like, because that was his way of showing love to Clark, was by like championing him with Lana.
Right.
But now we're moving into the Lex kind of has a thing for Lana stage, even though she's in high school. And that line, I think, is clearly meant to be talking about him, right?
Weird. Don't like. Don't like that whole storyline. Gonna say that. Wish that didn't happen. Gonna be weird when we get to it. It's
tough because they're all played by people who are so much older than they're.
Right.
It's like a fantasy world where there's fairs in November and high schoolers are 30.
Chloe goes to the mansion to accept Lex's offer. She reveals her deal with Lionel, but lies about spying on Clark. She says she was investigating him in an attempt to blackmail Lionel. She reveals that Lionel Luthor and Morgan Edge were close childhood friends. Morgan Edge, of course, was Rutger Hauer. Remember, famous actor Rutger Hauer played Morgan Edge on Smallville. And I'm sure this won't be relevant when we talk about Morgan Edge again on the television show Smallville.
Definitely next week, if by chance the character Morgan Edge comes back.
What's it played by Rutger Hauer?
It would have to be Rutger Hauer.
Why?
Playing.
Why would we think otherwise? Why would we have any reason to suspect anything else?
So the scene with Chloe is actually really good. More Lex Chloe stuff. She tells him what Lionel was doing, like blackmailing her into investigating Clark. And Lex says with I think a little glint in his eye, like, what did you find out about Clark?
Right.
Or like,
right.
what, or did you, and whatever. And she's like, I didn't investigate him. And then he's on to the next thing. But if she had said yes, he definitely would have been very interested to know what's going on
very
with
much
Clark.
so. In the barn, Lana apologizes to Clark, but admits that she appreciated that Seth was honest with her, and that she did want to find another relationship like that. And that's the show.
Like Seth, like that. Creeper,
yes.
Creeper who manipulates her on the rebound and takes her to it.
Hey, water under the bridge. It is what it is. I would say I enjoyed this episode while I was watching it. It's looking back on it, I'm like, this is a fucking mess.
Yeah, I mean, it's very season 1.
It has a lot of smooching, and I like it when Smallville's got smooching.
Yes, it's fun. It was a fun episode. They do plant the Lex, Chloe, Lionel seeds are planted for. They're going to pay off a lot later. It's going to be really good. But
Dress says, honest, he used mind control. I don't think he brought up the mind control parts, just that he was Magneto.
Yeah.
Okay. Featured music, we have Amazing by Josh Kelly. That must be who that band is.
He does say Josh Kelly as himself.
Okay.
Josh Kelly. So that's John Mayer knockoff.
Yeah.
I mean, what else does Josh Kelly? I'm gonna look it up on Spotify.
All right, I'm gonna keep going here with we have "Over You" by Michelle Featherstone, "Hey Now" Black Toast Music, "Trouble" Bonnie McKee, "Stupid Girl" by Cold. I recognize that one. That was on the radio a bit when I was in high school. And "Trouble" by Pink. That's actually a pretty big one.
That is. Okay, so wait, there's 2 Troubles in this episode?
Yes, there is.
Great Smallville.
Great Smallville.
This guy is prolific.
Yeah.
Okay, he had an album in 2003, 2005. Oh, 2006, he was on the Brother Bear 2 soundtrack.
Wow.
He had another album in 2006, 2008, 2011. Georgia Clay. Okay.
His debut country single.
216. 200.
Dude, he's married to Katherine Heigl.
Is he?
Yep, according to his Wikipedia.
And we were talking shit like he was a nobody.
Yeah,
we just don't know anything.
We're the fucking idiots here.
I mean, his songs on Spotify have in the million, like 1 million, 6 million, 4 million. So not like huge.
He was a part of the band formerly known as Lady Antebellum, that is now just Lady A. He's one of those 3. So he's actually a quite successful musician, I believe.
Yes, well, we didn't know that he was in that band.
Right.
Yes, they have 200, almost 300 million. Their number one song is almost 300 million plays or downloads or whatever.
Wow. Whereas
his solo stuff is like 4 million.
Right.
Not like this show where we get a real.
Let's see here. The title of this episode: "To be magnetic means to hold the properties of a magnet or a magnetic field."
Do you think he shows Katherine Heigl this episode of Smallville like yearly?
Yearly, definitely, absolutely.
Yearly is like
he spends a "this isn't important to me" bit. He has the DVD and he brings it down and is like, "Honey, it's time."
She's like, "Can't we just watch the scene you're in?" He's like, "No, we gotta watch the whole fucking episode."
Whole fucking thing. Show support. Let's see here. What else we got? Seth says, "You have no idea what I'm capable of." This is the 3rd time the line has been used in the series. Lex said it to his father. Clark said it to Lex in red.
And Dwight says it to Michael in the office. And says that Lex Luthor said it, and then Michael goes, "Gene Hackman said that," and he goes, "No, Michael Rosenbaum, Smallville."
Amazing. Okay. I forgot that we missed a Nietzsche line. When Clark accuses Seth of being able to control Lana's feelings through his magnetic abilities, Seth comments that Lana is not made of steel.
Oh my god. Like, that's the laziest Nietzsche line. Because,
right.
Because Lana isn't made of steel, but it's definitely the intent is the Nietzsche intent.
Right.
Brian, do we have to re-explain this, like, all of our stuff to people who...
It's been... No.
People who just start listening to the show, do we have to explain Nietzsche line? Do we have to explain fucking why we talk about boners every time he uses his heat vision?
I don't think so. No.
It's self-explanatory.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
I'll pick it up. It's like old broadcast TV. If you missed 24, if you just heard that show 24 is pretty good, you gotta sit down. You gotta fucking figure it out, brother.
Right. Right, but we don't have our episodes. They can't go back and listen to these.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Oh, good. You couldn't at the time either. 24. You just got. I picked up 24 mid-season. I figured it out. Okay. Let's see. Anything else we got to go over? You ready to get out of here?
Yeah, sure. Next episode is actually, if I remember correctly, it's a good one. It's the season. It's like the mid-season finale before Christmas break, and it's a real cliffhanger.
We should do that one then. We should do that one then rather than our special episode, right?
Yeah, sure.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And then do a special episode.
I mean, it won't be live though.
Right. It is what it is.
I think maybe the Ninja Turtles will be more fun live.
I think so. Yeah. So we're gonna finally do our Ninja Turtle episode. Zach's gonna rewatch Ninja Turtles. It's gonna be otherwise a normal episode. We're gonna recap it. We're gonna
Yep. Concussions.
Yep.
There's got to be some
Superman
concussions.
Nietzsche lines.
Yes.
And if they will make boner jokes if anyone shoots fire from their eyes, which I don't think they do in the movie.
No, but there might be some boners.
There might be some boners. Let's see. I got another podcast called Brian and Eric Don't Belong Here. It's about spooky stuff. We just did an episode about Dungeons and Dragons and Satanism. It's a pretty good one. We've also got a live show coming up this weekend. If you happen to be in the great state of Connecticut, around Ansonia, we're going to be at Paracon. You can get tickets at Paracon. That's 2 N's like the state of Connecticut, paracon.org. Zach, do you have a question for the Smallville gods?
No. I need to start preparing these. Is Emily going to one day have to decide if Allison Mack should get an MVP award?
Good night, everybody.